Welcome to Community Forum. My name is John Gogliettino. I'm your host. We're changing gears a little bit this evening. We're going to be talking about a historical project that one of our local organization does. The Danbury Moose Lodge 1373 has been doing the dip on Lake Kenosha for 13 years right now. And we're going to be talking about that, a little bit about the organization, and the community groups that it benefits. With me this evening is Aarron Russell. I want to welcome you to the show.
Hey, thanks, John.
Aarron is part of the committee, and he's acting co-chair of the committee, the DIP committee. I am on the DIP committee, but I'm also, full disclosure, I'm the governor this year of the Danbury Moose. Let's talk first a little bit about the Moose. The Moose has got over a million members. It was started at the turn of the century, approximately 1890.
Yeah, we're over 125 years old at the present time.
Okay.
Started down in Kentucky, and it was really blossomed after a gentleman named James J. Davis came on board. The membership was approximately 237, 290, something like that. When James J. Davis took over as our director general, the whole fraternity just blew up. It ended up being over 1 million members in a very short amount of time, and covered the whole country along with Canada and Great Britain.
I failed to mention you're also one of our national committee people.
Yeah, I'm on the International Activities Committee for the Moose. We take care of all of the international sporting events, along with the Texas Hold'em and different projects throughout the fraternity.
Okay. The purpose of the DIP is charitable. That we basically benefit the Moose Charities, which is Moose Heart, Moose Haven, and we have some local groups. And I want to mention at this time we got the Jimmy Fund, the Danbury Girl Scouts, the Service Unit, the Police Explorers, the Ability Beyond Disability, Special Olympics, Connecticut Family Children's Aid, the Ann's Place Cancer Support Services, the Danbury Exchange Club Prevention of Child Abuse, the Mill Plain Volunteer Fire Department, and the Newtown Underwater Search and Rescue. Those are our those are the charities that we're going to be giving to this year. Basically, this whole Danbury Dip for Charity is a community service event where some brave souls will get some donations from people so that they can jump into Lake Kenosha. And they're totally supervised. Obviously, we have the Newtown Search and Rescue there in the water with them. And so there's really no problem as far as that goes. We have ambulances, and Mill Plain Fire Department's also there to lend a hand if we ever needed to. Now we have a number of members. Approximately between the women and the men, we have approximately 700 members. But we have all the lodges that are going to be participating in the state of Connecticut.
Yeah, we have 9 lodges in the state of Connecticut. There's 10 chapters still left in the state of Connecticut. We travel around. We do a dip trip every year where some of the members that jump in, and also Paul Grenier and his crew drive around and pass out pamphlets and flyers. They hand out things called ice cubes. It's kind of similar to your Shamrocks or something like that, where people can donate $1 or $5 to get their name, and then we post it in a wall at the Moose Lodge. They'll sell lawn signs where we have lined all the way down the hill, down into the lake, with businesses and people that would like to contribute $100 to get their name out there that they're supporting the community effort. You did mention Moose Charities. That's our main focus as far as Moose members go, that we donate to Moose Charities that takes care of Moose Haven and Moose Heart. Moose Heart's a 1,000-acre campus just outside of Chicago, where we take in at-risk kids and give them a second chance in life. If you're a member for 15 years, you attain the age of 65, and you run into financial or physical problems, you can apply to go to Moose Haven, and you can basically live there rent-free for the rest of your life when your money runs out. It's one of the great benefits of being a Moose member is that you're taking care of your own kids and you're taking care of your senior members, but you're also taking care of the community. And with all of our Heart of the Community projects, this being the largest one that the Danbury Moose Lodge does, is really giving back to the community, and it really gives you that feeling of being there to actually help your own town and your own area.
By way of the membership, and with these groups that we benefit, on average, it's been 20,000 plus a year is what we've been averaging.
We're just right around with the 13 years. We're probably right around $300,000 that we have raised for different charities along the years. Like we said, these are the charities for this year. There's some charities that are no longer exist that used to be part of the thing. But these are worthwhile people to donate to. The Police Explorers do a wonderful job. We have all the kids there. They do our traffic control for our parking lot. We feed them, we keep them going and keep them active. We also sponsor them to go to different events throughout the country. It's a very, very worthwhile organization. The Explorers do a wonderful job for us.
Right. Would you want to mention our website? Where if they
our website, if you want any information on this, we're on Facebook at the Danbury Moose Lodge 1373. And we also have our website, which is moose1373.com. You can go there, you can download a sponsor sheet, or we have forms to fill out for sponsoring a lawn sign, or making a donation, or just dropping off a raffle prize or something like that would help us out tremendously. We are open to the public that day. Everybody knows that the Moose is a private organization, but we have dispensation to be open to the public that day. So we encourage everybody to come on out. We are going to have a special guest there this year. We're going to have our Supreme Governor, our highest elected official in the Loyal Order of Moose. He will be there, Terry Walls. He's going to be jumping in the lake. He has a big, huge sponsorship sheet already. Looking forward to him breaking a pretty big threshold here, and we'll see how that goes. But it's going to be wonderful to see him there at the lodge, and it's going to be pretty much of a big deal over there.
And anybody can sponsor a moose for doing the dip.
Correct.
You don't have to jump in yourself.
No.
So we have that information on the website also. Mm-hmm. Now this is the 27th of February, mm-hmm. and the lodge opens at 9, and then there's registration at 10.
Correct.
And then we're doing the dip itself at 1 o'clock.
It'll be around 1 p.m. Basically what people need to know is that the lodge parking lot generally closes around 11:30, 12 o'clock when it gets full. We also have additional parking across the lake over at the Lake Kenosha. And we have bus service provided by Ability Beyond. And they'll sponsor 1 or 2 buses to bring people over to the lodge and then bring them back to their vehicles after the day is over. Basically, the dip runs from 1 o'clock till about 5 p.m. after we're done with all the raffle prizes and feeding everybody. This year, because we have the Supreme Governor coming, we're going to have another dinner after the dip. It'll be free to all people that would be interested in coming. It's going to be 6 p.m. It's going to be a Mexican and Chinese buffet. So grab your family and come on down and meet our Supreme Governor.
And it is open to, because we got this dispensation.
Dispensation, correct.
Right. So there's like several times. There's a little bit of breakfast for people to come early. There's some lunchtime, or I think right after, and then later on. So there's like 3 different times you can be there all day and
right.
and be fed. And
it's going to be a very full day for all the volunteers, that's for sure. We'll probably be running pretty ragged at the end of the day, but it's all worth it to be able to donate all this money to the charities. And just so that you know that all the food money and all the alcohol and sodas that are sold at the lodge, all that money goes to these charities. There's not a penny that's kept by the Danbury Moose Lodge itself. It's all donated. So come on down and support us. It'll be great.
Right. How many people usually come, or approximate?
There's usually a few hundred people that are there. We have had big crowds. We've had smaller crowds when it's really windy and cold.
Yeah.
So it varies. This year, I don't know if the weather's going to be cooperating enough with us to be able to have the ice Normally we cut a big hole in the ice and people walk around and then jump in.
That's an event, yeah.
So this year we might have to run in offshore, and I'm sure that Paul Grenier and all the guys that have been jumping ever since the beginning will make sure that everybody at least gets their head wet. I'm sure that they're not going to dip their toe in there and get away with that, I don't think.
Paul Grenier is our chair, and he's done an excellent job. I was remiss in not being a little more emphasis about the fact, he's the guy.
Oh, he does a wonderful job. Yeah, does a wonderful job. We have a special raffle this year. Somebody donated a set of 10 Yankee rings that are the commemorative rings from the New York Yankees. They span about 10 years. There's a lapel pin, the rings, and they're all going to go off at once. It's going to be a $10 per ticket raffle, but it's a very limited edition ring collection that we have this year.
So if you're a Yankee fan, you got another reason for coming.
Or if you're a Boston fan, you want to win them and burn them in front of everybody, that's fine too. That's okay.
Tell us a little bit more now about the moose. What are some of the things we do? And
one of the big things is this is one of our biggest Heart of the Community here in Danbury. We also do a Heart of the Community projects that are international conventions. We started that last 2 years ago, and then down in Nashville this past year we had a food drive. We also had a clothes drive, and we did a bunch of community service in the area where we went out to different homes where they were taking in kids at risk, similar to Moose Heart. That's where I ended up going, and we were able to work on the grounds. We took down a bunch of trees and vines and all kinds of different things to help them out. It gave us community service hours, but it also gave you that sense of connection with the kids that were there, the faculty. You got a good lesson about what they do. And that was Monroe Harding that was down there in Nashville. And that was very, very eye-opening as far as how they deal with things. And also with the way we deal with things at Moose Heart, it was a good comparison on what was going on. And I happened to be there with our Director General, Scott Hart, who we had about 30 people. We had 3 guys from our lodge that went down, and Steve Snyder and Jimmy Germain. We went down and pulling some vines from trees and whatnot. So we do a lot of that stuff. So we're going to continue that in St. Louis. We're going to be in St. Louis this year. I'm not sure exactly what the community service projects will be, but we have normally around 300 to 400 volunteers out of the 4,000 that go to these international conventions that donate their time to go out and do some community service projects when the moose arrives. And it's been huge. The first year in Las Vegas, we blew it out. There was places that were so appreciative of what we did. We got write-ups in newspapers, and it was just a big, big boost for the moose. And that was so big that we just wanted to keep that going as far as the international Heart of the Community projects go.
And these local groups are indicative of what we do locally. We're always, every month that passes, we community service activity of one type or another, and there's a number of things that we do at the lodge for the membership. We have dinners 3 times a week. We have some card playing on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday nights. Maybe a few other times, but that I'm not aware of.
Sure, it's all good.
And there's always activities, and we're always willing to listen to people that might be coming in with new ideas. That's how an organization keeps going, is when you have ideas, you share some new ideas, and they try them out.
Yeah, one of the big things that they're going to be trying with the international is a veterans project that will most likely be rolled out in our convention in St. Louis. Hopefully that ends up going. We have our Moose Legion, which is another degree of the order, where we have Sunday breakfasts where we raise funds for our local veterans here in Danbury. Mm-hmm. We were given to the Wounded Warriors Project for a number of years. We found a place that is actually housing homeless vets here in Danbury. So we have decided to start focusing our resources on that and helping local, keep it more local. That way more people can get involved and can see what you're doing, and you're actually part of the community, which is what we're all about.
And then we have a big picnic in the month of August. Can't remember, it's like the third week of August.
It's the third Saturday in August every year.
Right.
It's our Veterans Appreciation Picnic. We pick it a little bit earlier so we can have a picnic, but it's free for all veterans. The families are a minimal cost. It's maybe $10, somewhere in there, 10 to 12 bucks, to come and spend a whole day right on Lake Kenosha, which is a beautiful property we have. If you've never been over to the Danbury Moose Lodge, it's located at 75 Boulevard Drive, right on the other side of the lake from the Kenosha Park, which is where they play soccer and have the playgrounds and stuff, right across from the Vespucci Lodge on the lake there.
Yeah, we have a few, well, actually they're private. You can park a boat there. Let's put it there. I was just going to give our boats away for rides.
Yeah,
no.
If you remember, you're allowed to bring your canoes down and be able to bring
Right.
your rowboats down and use them as you
Lock
see
them
fit.
up.
And we do lock them up. Yes, we
Yes.
do.
Okay. So a very nice location, a number of activities. Like I said, every week we got activities going, the card playing and the dinners. But this is the purpose of all this is to raise money for charity, because that's the prime purpose of the organization, to help out Moose Haven, and our local groups. And this group, Danbury Dip for Charity, has averaged $20,000 a year. And once again, for those that might have been out of the room, if you can mention our website.
Our website is www.moose1373.com. You can go there. You can also catch us up on Facebook. It's Danbury Moose Family Center on Facebook. If you can't find anything like that, you can always call the lodge at 203-792-9106 and talk to any of the bartenders that we have there to get any information that you would like to get. I know that this brochure has one website and the other website.
Yeah, I was going to say
I have to fix that.
I got the www.lodge1373.com on the bottom here.
Right, and that if you want to send an email to the lodge, it would be lodge1373@mooseunits.org. That would send an email right to the lodge. So that's where that came from.
Right.
I apologize for the little misspelling there.
Okay, it's all right. What do you do in your particular job? A little more on that.
As far as international?
Your international job.
Well, I'm also the state secretary for Connecticut, which keeps me pretty busy with things I have to do for the state, trying to keep the state on board and building our Moose Legion, building the lodges, building the chapters. Internationally, I covered the different sporting events. I covered the golf. We had 2 golf outings this year. And with all our sporting events, you have to be a Moose member to participate. We're trying to develop a travel program for our golf so that we'll be able to have travel packages down to Myrtle Beach area, where we're going to be playing this year in late October. We played in Williamsburg, Virginia this past October, and the weather was beautiful. We had a really good time down there. And the first tournament is out at Elkhart, Indiana. We have bowling, we have darts, horseshoes. So we keep pretty busy as far as activities go on the international level. We try to get it more local activities such as cornhole. We're doing that every other Wednesday now at the lodge.
Right.
Now that the weather's cold, we're throwing the bean bags around and having a little fun with that. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, and you can make your Moose membership whatever you want to make it. It's up to you to actually get involved with the lodge and to help the lodge prosper. And it's better than the alternative where you end up closing and then all these nice, wonderful charities don't have somebody sitting there raising money for them. So it's good to keep us open and keep us moving around to help you. If you are a charitable organization out there and you want to have a fundraiser or anything at the lodge, feel free to contact the lodge. John is our governor. You can contact me, Aarron Russell, ct@gmail.com if you would like. We can get you any information you would want to have a fundraiser or anything you want at the lodge. So.
Right, you can call 203-792-3629. That's contact me, or the lodge number is 203-792-9106. And like you said, contact either one of us, and we'll connect you in one way or the other. All are welcome, whether you're coming as a participant or whether you're coming as an observer. And we got dispensation for having you come to our private club, but it doesn't have to be private beyond, let's say, the 27th of February, because you can join at that point in time and help us with our fundraising for Moose Heart, Moose Haven, and all the local charities. Anything else I might be missing here, Aarron?
No, but it's just fun seeing all the different costumes that people wear. Last year we ended up having we have a busload of people that come down from the New Britain Lodge, and they decided to dress up, all the males decided to dress up as Hooters waitresses.
That's true.
And they had the wigs on, and they had stuffed shirts and the real tight shorts, and it was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. And it's definitely makes a lot of memories for everybody that goes.
We have some pictures here of how everybody they were dressed up like the summertime on Lake Kenosha, except it's the middle of the winter. And usually you got the ice is frozen solid. It's like 6 inches down, and they have a hell of a time cutting the ice. Oh yeah, we got a couple of capable guys. Yep. Yeah. They start out with with a pole, and then they cut a little bit of a hole, and then they saw it open. But they used to do it with the long saws. then they got smart.
They got smart. Hey, the gas is a lot better for sure.
So it was very interesting. Let's see. And like I said, we already covered the fact it varies up and down. It's 200-300 people. And it's been going on for 13 years, and hopefully a lot more.
Yeah, 2004 was our first year, and hopefully we can keep this going. It's been an ebb and flow for donations here and there for years, depending on the weather. Obviously, the better the weather, the more people show up, the more people spend at the lodge that day, and the more that we'll end up raising. So we try to get as many people there as possible.
There is one caveat: because of our liquor license, you do need to purchase your alcohol there. So if you're coming out, keep us legal, and don't bring, your own booze. Buy the booze or buy the alcohol at our lodge. Mm-hmm. I think that's it on the. So once again, the website. You want the one?
Yeah, is moose1373.com.
Right.
Will be the best way to get us, or link us up on Facebook, and we'll have all the information there. We'll have links to be able to get to where you need to download all the forms.
Or you can call me at 203-792-3629, or call the lodge at 203-792-9106. And once again, recapping, the lodge opens at 9 o'clock that day. Registration starts at 10 o'clock. You can sponsor somebody. You don't have to jump in yourself. And you can do that day, or you can call us in advance of that day. And the actual dip will start at 1 o'clock, and it goes to about 5 o'clock that day. And again, all the local groups derive a good part of their revenue from this activity, which is over an average of $20,000 a year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And everybody there that day is all volunteers, so there's plenty of volunteers. You have a bunch of people walking around with cherries and jellos and all kinds of fun stuff to make the day a lot better. Our volunteer bartenders, volunteer people that cut the holes in the ice, that set up the tents, that hook up the heaters. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that happens to make this event go off successfully. And we really, really appreciate all the help that we get. And even if you just want to come down and volunteer that day, we would love to have you. We could find something for you to do for sure.
Yeah, we have people from the fire department, Mill Plain Fire Department, We have the Newtown Underwater and Search Team for a reason, because we're in the lake and somebody could, have a problem, but they're right there in the lake to make sure we don't have a problem. Anybody's concerned about that. We have the Girl Scouts. We have the Police Explorers. These are all the volunteers that work in addition to our members. And then, of course, we donate to their groups and these other groups that we have here. So definitely a worthwhile activity. Anything else?
It for sure is.
Anything? We got 2 minutes left.
Oh, that's no problem. We have 2 minutes. That's okay. Yeah, I'd like to thank the Newtown Underwater Search and Rescue Team, because they are down there in the water. It gives them a little bit of training time too to check out their equipment. They're all in dry suits, and they're in from the probably about a half hour before everybody starts going in the water to do a little testing and to have a little fun down there too. So it's always nice seeing those guys. They do a nice job. And also the Mill Plain Fire Department they have their trucks over there, and those guys are all volunteer, and that's the closest firehouse, volunteer firehouse that we have,
right,
along with Myrie Brook. But
a little further over.
Mill Plain is the main one that we sponsor for the dip, and we look forward to having all those guys come back after they get out of the water and come for our Mexican Chinese buffet that's free afterwards, and they can come meet our Supreme Governor Terry Walls. Who'll be there with his wife Kathy, and also our Deputy Supreme Governor Kevin O'Leary, and it should be a lot of fun. It should be a really, really good time. Hopefully the weather's good for us. I don't anticipate having ice to have to cut through. Most people will just be running in from the shore, but it's a lot of fun. It's a really great day.
It should be a heck of a time. And once again, recap: the lodge opens at 9 o'clock on the 27th of February. Registration starts at 10, and the dip starts at 1 o'clock. My telephone number, if you'd like to volunteer or participate, is 203-792-3629. And the telephone number for the lodge is 203-792-9106. 9106, rather.
Yep.
All right, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, John. I appreciate it.
And they're telling me we're out of time, so have a good evening, and we'll see you next week, same time, same station. Good night.
Good night.